Psalm 6, the cry of so many this morning. Have mercy on me, Lord. I have no strength. Lord, heal me. My body is in pain. My soul is in pain. But you, O Lord, return, rescue my soul. Save me in your merciful love. For in death no one remembers you. From the grave, who can give you praise? The Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord will accept my prayer. Psalm 6, and so we pray. Lord God, you love mercy and tenderness. You give life and overcome death. So look upon the many wounds of your people. Restore us to health by your risen Son, so that we may sing a new song in your praise. Show me your mercy, Lord, and keep me safe. Amen. Welcome to Early Rise on the Bridge 99 FM. I'm Ronnie Thwaites. Been doing this for a long while. Happy to link people abroad all over the world. We start this early in order to catch you in your time zone, in order to wake you up, in order to present for you the best of what's happening in Jamaica, to give us hope, to give us positive critique, to talk the truth about this nation that fascinates us, that so invades our souls and our bodies, wherever we are in the world. Link us on 99.13579 on the FM dial. Happy to be with you. Today is Monday, February the 7th. This month is designated as Black History Month, we know, and so we pick out those areas of our history and of our present that particularly speak to the interests, to the identity, to the history of the majority of our people, of all of our people. This is why we look forward to my co-host, Chief Pearnel Charles, joining me a little later. We'll share the discussions of the day with you. Thanks for being part of the Bridge Nation, a special character of media in Jamaica these days. Tuning in to The Bridge. Remember, you can also watch us live stream on www.thebridge99fm.com, wherever you are in the world. You can join in the conversation by calling our phone line at 876-676-4996 or connect with us via WhatsApp at 876-551-5782. We'd love to hear from you. By the way, I just noticed the advertisement of the pet peeve, your grouse, that you can call in, and is it Give Richie later on in the morning, and you'll get some kind of response or sympathy or contradiction. That's a good thing for radio. It's more than letting off steam, you know. It's a profoundly democratic medium where people who otherwise would not be able to express themselves in an interactive way have the opportunity to do so. That's good. Social media offers that, but perhaps not with the same intensity as the human voice itself, both making the statement and securing the response. We consider it a privilege to be that medium for you. Tell you about the weather in Jamaica this morning. The Meteorological Service, the forecast for today is that we can expect morning showers across the northeastern parishes, and it will be partly cloudy elsewhere. Isolated showers are also expected across sections of most parishes. I was listening over the weekend to a feature on an international radio that pointed out the well-being that comes with being in a sunny climate. Yes, and that, in fact, it can so improve your mood that it can have some effect upon your physical health condition. Now, that's interesting. Yes, and that's, of course, is why so many people flock to tropical countries like ours. And it also is a reason why we who live here need to be particularly grateful and not take for granted the equable climate that we have all through the year. Yeah, that's very important. So those of you who want to have to see snow and to live in temperate climates, yes, that's okay. We can enjoy that. But the benefits of tropical existence are very clear, and we are grateful for that. Okay, the news of the day. Yeah, there was a terrible murder. Why do I have to start with that so often? Over the weekend, just before the weekend, this is a young man who apparently loses his mental balance and kills his parents over in South St. Catherine. And the story is coming out this morning that, in fact, he was under pressure in a very oppressive home situation. Yeah, and people could see that he was progressively losing his equilibrium. Happy man, and then suddenly becoming very surly and withdrawn. And then they having this terrible eventuality. The issue of mental health is an issue which is worldwide, and it's evidence in Jamaica and the inability for many of us to deal with it. When we see signs of it in ourselves and in others, is a serious public health challenge, We don't need many more public health challenges now in the wake of COVID, in the present still of COVID. No done, You drive in parts of Jamaica and you think COVID now keep out there, but it is. Yeah, but the truth is that there are many other problems, and mental stability is one such. Yeah, we need much more professional guidance and many more facilities. And more than anything else, people being brought up and taught how to deal with each other in ways that encourage a positive mental health. And the last thing we need is mind-altering substances, whether it's narcotics, whether it's alcohol or tobacco or anything else. We don't need that. Opiates don't help. Anesthesia is a poor substitute for confronting the realities of your life. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has declined to comment on pushback against a plan by the government to allow spectator attendance at events open only to persons who are vaccinated against COVID-19. Minister Tufton disclosed the move on Wednesday at the opening of a field hospital at the Savannah Lamar Hospital in Westmoreland, stating that the government will soon launch an official calendar of events. Okay, so if you're vaccinated, you can go. If you're not vaccinated, you can't go. The announcement has drawn mixed reactions. Among the critics is executive chairman of the Sandals Hotels, Adam Stewart, who bashed the move as discriminatory. He argued, that's Adam Stewart, that the decision would go against the overwhelming majority of Jamaicans who have made a personal choice. Approximately 22% of Jamaica's population is fully vaccinated, falling second to Haiti with the worst compliance in the Caribbean. Okay, sorry I don't agree with you, Adam. I agree with the minister. Yeah, personal choice is fine, but you have no right to utilize your personal choice to make me vulnerable in any way, you see? And therefore, if you choose not to be vaccinated, well, don't come amongst me. That's the simple it. And if there's a football match or a concert or something else, a rally that we want to go to, okay, then you have to consider your vulnerability, which is greater than mine. That's scientifically accepted. And I'm sure Mr. Stewart accepts that. Yes? And there we go. So let's be careful about that. I agree with the Minister of Health and the government stance, and I hope they'll bring it into effect and not just chat about it very soon. Lord have mercy. I'm watching the tracker on CNN here in the studios of the Bridge 99 in Kingston, and there's new Department of Justice footage of the Capitol riots on January the 6th, 2021, highlighting the violent threats against Vice President Mike Pence. Yeah, they wanted to kill him, Yeah. And then the Republican Party, of which Mr. Pence is perhaps the second most prominent member, is saying that this January 6th was merely reasonable political discourse or some nonsense like that. What is happening to the headspace of this large proportion of Americans? Hey, try tell me if you can. They bring a gallows there. See it there? A gallows. They want to put up a gallows so they can hang the man. That's the Vice President of the United States, because they want to say that he could have overturned the election. As he said very clearly over this weekend, hey, Jamaicans can think straighter than them, and them so big and intelligent and have money. What is that? He's saying that the most un-American thing that one can think of is that one person could overturn the will of the electorate and choose who to be president. Have mercy. And Mr. Trump is saying that these hooligans, these criminals, some of them murderers, 4 people died. He's teasing. Oh, Mr. Trump is saying that if he were to get reelected, he would pardon all of them. So then who, but tens of thousands of black men are in jail, yeah, for drugs or for other reasons. I don't excuse any of that, though I don't think prison is the answer. But people who wanted who assaulted the Congress at his instigation, threatened to kill his vice president, he will pardon, but they fill up the prisons with those of a different race and class who they don't like. That is justice? Come now, we expect better of people of such high income and education, Or is that saying too much? Yeah? All right. Well, while we have the liberty of commenting on those aspects, we have to also be mindful of our own situation, because in responding to the pleas of Jamaicans for better crime fighting, Prime Minister Holness announced on Friday, have you heard it, Bridge listeners abroad, that the government has launched a Get Every Illegal Gun campaign. He made the announcement at the opening of the Andrews Muse Health and Recreational Center in Olympic Way in Kingston. He says elements of the plan include new legislation and an incentivized multi-million-dollar fund with a target of $250 million that will significantly increase the reward for information leading to the recovery of illegal firearms. Okay, so let me just get something clear with you. If you're going to offer an incentive for somebody to give information about where a gun is, I must tell you I don't like it, but I will say that has some validity, because the person is taking a risk, you're incentivizing. Why don't I like it? Because citizens have to be brought up and schooled and become accustomed to standing in favor of good and against evil without any money passing. But if in the circumstances the money will lubricate the cooperation, which otherwise would not be there, then I am prepared to concede that. But this is very different, very different from any notion that you're going to buy back guns. I don't believe that. I don't believe in that at all. And I think opposition leader Golding has made that distinction. So if you're going to incentivize cooperation with the police, that's one thing. But if you're going to pay criminals to give up their guns, that is foolishness. Because all they will do is take that money and buy a bigger gun. Yeah? So that you haven't changed their heads, their minds. So let's make that clarity to it. I understand how difficult it is for the government. Indeed, it is worse difficult for all of us as people. But can we make very, very clear what we are doing in this respect? Yes, but remember, there are other measures we have to be taking at the same time, and I'm hoping that we can discuss those in a while. Let's take a break on the early rise. It's the Bridge 99 FM. Mr. Charles is not an ordinary co-host, He gets his special theme every morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and I think it's something I should say thank you for, because if you forget to pray,
yes,
you have a problem.
Well, indeed. So I say I gave a little psalm earlier, and then you add the lyrics to the prayer later on. That's good.
Yes,
thank you, Audley.
Yes.
Well done. So, sir, welcome, and we begin a new week. We were reflecting on this two things this morning I'd love your comment on. First of all, I support the government's position that those who have been vaccinated can go to football, can go to rally, can go to church functions, etc. While those who have not been vaccinated, there needs to be some restraint on them doing so. Mr. Adam Stewart, of a respected voice of the hotel industry, he says, no, it's discriminatory against the majority of Jamaicans, he says, I don't think he's right, who have made a personal choice, I suppose, not to be vaccinated. What do you think?
Well, I want to be political. I think both of them are right.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. Tell me why you think both of them are right.
No, well, I think that people who have either not been taught or who have personal reasons who just not going to take it prefer to die. I don't think it is the government that should do that. If I want to put on a football thing, I'm going to say people who are invited must be vaccinated.
Right? Anything wrong with that? I don't think so.
No. I mean, it's my thing. I am inviting you.
Sure.
But I think what Adam is saying that once the government touches it, it becomes a constitutional thing. And as a result of that, you have to look at people's rights.
Oh, we're looking at people's rights.
Yes.
I'm happy to look at people's rights. And I'm saying...
You know that I would not object to government saying, you must be vaccinated.
No.
I would not object to that.
Yeah.
And except for those who have a medical or other reasons.
Yes, sir.
So a man who has never been to high school and is going to dictate to the scientists and the medical professionals of the world who have decided that in their study and their presentation, this is a way of protecting you. I have to be on the scientist side. I have to be on the medical side.
Therefore, I'm surprised at Adam Stewart. I would have thought that he, who is a very cultured and educated person, he would not take this point of view. He would accept that it is better to be protected by vaccination and that it is the right of those who are so protected to say, look, I do not wish to be in the close company of somebody who may make me more vulnerable. Yes, who by not being vaccinated.
If I see Mr. Stewart, I'll ask him to employ you to make a presentation. No, but the fact is, you're right.
Yes.
Because if I have to be vaccinated to get on the plane to come to Jamaica,
well, I think
then if I have to be vaccinated to land in Jamaica.
Or to land in the U.S.
Other way. Yeah. Why am I not? Because if Adam says that, he's saying to his workers, you don't have to vaccinate.
Well, you see, this is why I wonder if he's being misunderstood. I have heard the report, and there's been no refutation, because that is respectfully a backward position to take. One would expect those who are interested in the health of your guests, of your visitors, of your citizenry, that you would without demur encourage vaccination. Yes? No question. And the government is perfectly right in taking this position. It's been long awaiting. There has to be a premium for doing that which is the most protective thing in the circumstances. And I remain very critical of those of my brothers and sisters, church people, who are hitching about this question of vaccination.
Well, a lady came to me and said that she heard that I am in favor of this vaccination thing.
Yes.
So I said to her, turn on, let me see your left hand.
Well, sure.
And she turned and said, wait, you had a big cut here one time. Yes, my mother came go vaccinate me, but it's not me. Okay. I said, did it hurt you? No, did it protect you? Me no know, sir, but to say you're here, no.
Yeah.
But to get back to the Adam thing, I would like to know if he takes that, then he's saying to his workers, they don't have to vaccinate.
No, which he doesn't want to do. He could never do that.
Well, if
that would spoil his
he
business.
couldn't object to one who said they're not taking it.
No, I appreciate that.
And if they say they're not taking it, and a tourist say, I'm not going to your hotel, because you have somebody there who's likely to communicate. I mean, to transfer, to let me get.
Be more vulnerable. Towards this. No. Look, we have to have a clear position, and as we will repeat in respect of other matters we're going to discuss this morning, this is one that needs a clear national posture. And
international,
yes. But you're correct, and national, therefore, and it is important that it be taken. So let us be clear, as we have been in the past. We repeat it again because it is still a clear and present danger. So take me answer to the next issue that I'm anxious for your views on. This bring back the guns, all illegal guns. How I get the feeling, and I can share it with you because you and I are a similar vintage. Haven't we done this before, where we give money to people to get guns? And did it work? And is it the right thing to do?
To get her to bring it back. Which are we talking? Legal gun or illegal? Well, there are two big things before us, All
right.
This money that you can get if you bring in the illegal gun.
No, if you give information of.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if you carry it. Well, I would believe that if I had a gun and I'm afraid to carry it in, and I give it to a pastor who I think will carry it in, or I give it to a jail. You remember that was there once,
Yes?
Yes, you give it to somebody who you know would carry it, and I wouldn't say who they get it from.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay. So if I give information that leads to the recovery of a firearm, and even more so to the arrest of an illegal firearm holder, okay, I'm prepared to accept that is reasonable. I'm not unqualified there. Or I am not unqualified.
It's dangerous too.
It's dangerous, and so some incentive may be justified.
Yes.
But when do we state the ideal, Pearnel, where a citizen who sees crime must, without any money pass, be willing to say, "Hey, this is wrong. This is ultimately going to hurt me and hurt everybody else, and therefore I'm going to report it."
Yeah, but last week,
if you monetize integrity and honesty, you are debasing it in the long run.
But last week we were in agreement that used to happen and could happen, except there are people who are fearful of saying to you, to Mr. X, listen, them boy, they have a gun.
Yeah.
Because them boy, they call them and say, what you call up my name for?
Yeah. So
and when them say that, it's to you, your mother, your father, and your sister then.
True.
So you have a mouth and you can't talk. You have an eye and you can't see.
Yes. I'm willing to concede that if they need the lubrication of an incentive, a financial incentive, very cautiously, very judiciously, that if it's properly organized, can have some good purpose. So I support that.
Yeah.
But if you are going to say, if people misunderstand it, as it is already being misunderstood, sir, that I drudge a illegal gun, and I can turn it in and get $500,000. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is wrong.
Of course it is wrong, but
so
the point is...
we're not buying back guns. You
that is what you're doing. If you are giving $250,000 to go and find a gun.
Yeah.
But Ronnie, when you buy back a gun, and maybe an M16, you may be saving 16 lives.
Yeah. So
because when a man enters into a bar and there's a
understood,
cut
sir.
Down.
Yeah, but the end does not justify the means. And what you're going to find is, how do you respond? Let me put the question. How do you respond to the fact, if you give me $500,000 for my, if I get it for handing in my gun, yes, my rusty gun, all I'm going to do is take that money and buy a different gun,
So you say, is what if you do and what if you don't do?
Well, you see, so
which one is the best to do?
You cannot monetize. But the principle I'm starting with is that there's a deeper issue involved, and you cannot monetize lawful behavior.
Well, put it this way: I'm not going to use the word "can." Let us say you should not.
Should not.
Because if you say if getting in the guns is to spend some of our taxpayer money to bring it in.
Yeah.
And we save lives.
Yeah.
It will be justifiable, right? If we can prove that.
In certain circumstances,
Yes.
I'm willing to concede that. But you that can't bring a
No,
society's peace.
but I am on your side
Yes.
to say, if we are reaching a stage where the man them say, yes, man, we have 20 guns and we want some money,
Yeah.
So let's just send in 5
Yeah.
and get some money.
Remodel.
And buy back 2
Buy
guns
back
with
2
some of
guns.
the...
That can go...
All of those things can happen, right?
Cha.
All of those
And you're
things.
missing, what you're doing is dealing, understandably, but nonetheless, in my view, inexcusably, with the superficiality of the situation. Because one, you're not tracing sufficiently the origin of the guns.
Yes.
Yes? And 2, you have not entered into the mind and the sociology of the persons who are engaged in using a gun illegally. Thirdly, you have not at all spoken to, affected what is happening in Jamaica now, which is a growing gun culture, where if you can get it legally, you get it. If you can't get it illegally, you drudge it under your shirt.
But you have to get a gun.
But you must get a gun.
There are 2 types of people,
Man.
There's one who wants a gun to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And there's one who wants a gun to go and search for something. Kill somebody, get some money, rob some people. So you have 2. Let me tell you something. It is not easy. I was carrying for you the headline in one of the Nigerian paper this morning,
Yes.
where they have moved to make all gang members,
Right.
by law, a terrorist.
Oh.
And the police has the right to shoot all terrorists.
Oh. Yes, well, Nigeria.
So, in other words...
I can tell you that and I would never go that country. You should give up. Your chiefdom is Ghanaian. That is tyranny.
Well, let me tell you what I saw there.
Yeah.
And luckily it has stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited where they were going to shoot a gunman, man who killed off some people, in the public square.
Mm-hmm.
And people were invited to come to say, don't do it because this is how. And a group of soldiers line up and shoot him.
Yes. And you were invited to be a spectator. Have mercy. Well, thank God for Jamaica, I tell you.
So,
as bad as we are.
That has stopped, thank God.
In some places.
Yeah, but guess what, Ronnie? Every one of these difficult things have their pluses and their minuses.
I don't see any plus in killing people that way. I don't
But
see any plus at
but
all.
you don't see any pluses in that same person shoot down 10 people.
No. One wrong does not justify
One don't
a
justify
second.
the other.
No. We have to really think this thing through, And we're not dealing with the...
Well, let's get back to the Jamaican situation.
Okay.
Now, the Prime Minister said, look, we're trying to get the gun.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get it in. You know where it is, and you won't tell us.
Right.
We're going to create an incentive for
Right.
you to just tell us so we can pick it up to save lives.
Okay.
Save robbery, save killing of others for other reasons.
I'm willing to concede that, sir.
Yes.
It can go amok, but let's try and see if it has
Yes.
an effect. We've done it before.
Exactly.
And
Can you recall what had happened?
I believe that you got some rusty guns.
We got some
dig up
rusty.
from behind Warren.
Not the new ones that just coming
No,
into
sir.
the...
No,
coming
sir.
into
Worth
the-
more than that. 500,000.
Well, I'm going to say something now that I have not been advised by anybody.
Right.
But from my own, do I say internal intelligence,
Yes. That's a reputable source.
something is happening in the police force
Uh-huh.
that I wish it had happened long ago,
What is that?
where the police has some instrument that if you're passing with a gun, they know.
Oh,
That if you have the gun in the car, they can stop you and find it.
okay.
That if you bury it someplace and then walking over it,
Beep, beep, beep.
it make up noise.
Uh-huh.
So I tell you what, if you have a gun buried in your yard, you have a problem.
Well-
That if the police come in,
No, if you're using
if
technology.
you have it in the back of your fridge,
Yeah.
at the back of your color TV,
So what?
or in the sewer pit,
Yeah, I'm going to find it.
they go and find
That's
it.
wonderful. I thoroughly support that.
So the Prime Minister announced that we are coming to your yard
if they
for the
have,
gun.
that's fine. I hope they get them because because what we know is that more and more are coming in. I hope they will use that with all the containers coming in over the ports. I hope they will carry one of those machines on the Coast Guard ships that are looking at every canoe and every fishing boat or every whatever on the vast coastlines of Jamaica. But that use of technology, that's perfectly legitimate.
Well, they have it in many other parts of the world.
Well, I don't.
They have the dogs that can sniff it.
So I'm here but so make us have more dogs.
Yes.
There's no doubt. But
that sound good.
But hear me, sir. What there's I always dig deeper.
Yes.
Try to. Who is financing all of this? If the government is correct, I believe there was a statement from one of the high officials that much of it is being financed from abroad, people abroad. Who is doing so? Which Jamaican on the diaspora listening to Bridge 99, yes, has such nefarious view? What is the control of which community or the vendetta against what person in Jamaica that is causing them to spend millions of dollars, whether it is scam money, money laundering, whatever, to send guns here?
I think that you call two names.
Yes, sir.
And if you can personalize them.
Which one?
The scamming.
Uh-huh.
And there's some big boys over there who are involved.
What for? What for?
Eh?
What for?
What
Which war of resistance?
You remember I told one of the diaspora man that somebody in the diaspora told me that they get very nervous when families stop sending come out for some food and clothes. But I asked them, we can help them get a gun.
Yes, sir. So I'm asking who and why. You mean to tell me that our very impeccable relations with law enforcement in the United States, Canada, Switzerland, wherever, yes, cannot help us to overtake that?
I am not convinced that the Americans are not able to help.
No, I'm not convinced either.
They are able to prevent the gun from coming in. They must be able to prevent it better from going out.
Well, so hear me now. So in these circumstances, that is where you're dealing with and there's money behind it. So big money. So let us find out. Tell me about that, or at least tell me that you are dealing with that in a way that is preventing this large introduction of guns into this country, of the sort that frightening Afghanistan or Gulf War sort that Commissioner Anderson had on television the other night. This is war, he says. Of course it's war. I want you to do something about it, Mr. Anderson. And sticking up youth in Central Kingston and point gun in them face and locking them up for a year is not dealing with that. That is a bigger fish. Who is that fish? Who is protecting him? Where him come from? Where want?
Well, you know who is protecting him?
Yeah.
When somebody's blaming Mr. Anderson for all the guns that are in Jamaica, and blaming Mr. Anderson to go and get them.
No, who responds? Him look to work, you know, sir.
That's Ronnie.
Him can't solve it by himself.
That's fair.
But him can't draw a blank and still stand up there at $18 million a year.
So you agree with the leader of the opposition to give him 90 days to find a gun or throw him out?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh, okay.
But I am saying.
And when you don't comment, I have the answer.
But I'm going to say but I don't approve of his performance. I have to tell you that. His performance is provided we do not look to the source of firearms and to the mentality of those who wish to use them and to the escalating and acceptance of gun culture in this country, there will be no peace. Bob Marley said it.
But Ronnie, use the last one and give me an idea as a professor.
Yes, well.
How do we say to those? And we don't know at what level it is coming in. I tell you the truth, it's not Biggie I down at Central Kingston able to organize a gun through the U.S. port.
No.
And through the Jamaican port and deliver it down there, you know.
That's exactly what I'm saying, so. That's exactly and so who when we hear one of the guys who bring it in. I think Audley was saying it the other day when the big guns find on the port. Yes?
Yeah.
And we announce it. We find 13 firearms or 20 firearms. Me would have read them. Them not say nothing. And wait till somebody come claim them. And then you nab the man. Yes? I'm not saying they may be doing that. I don't know of their tactics. But all I'm saying is that unless we stop the flow of hardware and unless we strongly deal with a state of mind that allows the hardware to be used in the murderous fashion and stop fooling us and telling us that crime is going down when it's not.
Well, I will agree with you.
And somebody responsible for that.
Somebody is responsible
yes. And the same
for
way,
the guns leaving where they're coming from. And they are brand new guns. Nobody can tell me that you're sending 14 boxes of guns to some place and 13 gone and one come by itself to Montego Bay. And the police hear about it and go and pick it up. That's
well, but that's exactly, I'm agreeing with you. That's exactly what we're being asked to stomach and to say that this is effective crime fighting.
And the question is asked, what happened? Nothing yet.
Nothing
Investigation
yet.
is going on.
Yes. So hold on now. Who is joking with who? That don't make sense. And we're saying we don't wish to be invidious about any individual. I'm sure that these officials are trying very hard. Yes, it's a stubborn problem. But if you're not dealing with the cause of the problem, then you are going to face the consequences of destruction. And that is what Jamaica is facing right now.
But you will agree that attempts have been made to deal with some of the causes. Some of these statements. I mean, look how much money is pushed into our place behind the university. We call that Augustown.
Yes.
Look how much money is pushing there, trying to change the culture, upgrade it, and what happened.
Well, sir, I'm respectful of any such effort. But I'm telling my own. I have a predilection. When people have something that they have to do, a job, a work, yes, that is the biggest antidote to criminal temptation. When you have something to do, and I see one of my frustrations at having been involved with political representation is that there were so many people who needed, wanted, and even if they didn't want it, should be constrained to work. And that's not to defend slavery, yes, but must work, yes, must exercise labor and get the benefits of it. So many that I could never never help. That is a big frustration, and therefore you saw lives self-destructing, socially destructing in front of you. That is what is the position. You have youth now. I met some over the weekend. I'm trying to persuade them to go back to school. Yes.
Well,
and the question in their faces, there are two questions: how and what for. God, man.
If 40% or 30%, or whatever the percentage is, of children can't be found to go back to school.
These are the people I'm talking about.
Where are they going to go?
Well, exactly so.
And how are they going to live? They can't get a job because they're not qualified to get it. And they have to eat.
Yes. And
they're going to be having children.
They watch the television and they hear the lyrics and the music, not the ones how they play, and have all kinds of aspirations which are unable to be fulfilled. If you want to grasp that, if you want to say this is where we are spending our money on, this is what is going to be the emphasis.
Find them and school them.
School them. If you're going to do this, Philip Paulwell, who we'll go on to talk to in a little while, what he said, he's saying that yesterday in the papers that there should be a compulsory military academy. Oh yes, Philip? Okay. Now you're beginning to talk. At least people you're confronting people's mentality and their physical activity. Yes? If you need a state of emergency to do that, Mr. Charles, I will vote if I had one. Yes? I will support it with every word that I have to say here.
If you have...
That's constructive.
If you compulsory require a man to enter some camp
Yeah.
to be taught
Yeah.
otherwise. You would support that?
Yes, sir. But I'm under no illusion that while that would be redemptive, notice use of the word redemptive.
Yes.
That still doesn't deal with the big man who has connections with the police, with the politicians, with big business. Yes, who is finding money and shipping guns into Jamaica, or giving out instructions to kill, whether it is from General Penitentiary or from New York.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is
what
contract.
contract killing.
But Ronnie,
My God,
you know
man.
what we have just said here a while ago?
Yes, sir.
We are recognizing that there's a problem, you know.
Yes, sir.
There is a problem that the police and the politician alone cannot solve.
So the $250 million that Prime Minister is devoting to the buyback of the guns, or for the information of guns, let me correct myself. Yes, is that the best way to spend that money?
It is one of the ways that the money should be spent if you go and get the guns. If you don't get the money, it should be there. If you don't get the money should be there. What should we use the money to do? Search for the children who are not able to go back to school. Okay. Are they not able? Are they not going?
You see?
Or they don't want to go.
My fear.
Now, how you going to deal with that when they are not able or they don't want to go?
My fear, which we're going to...
it's a generation, you know.
Yes, before we break at 5 minutes to 6 o'clock. My fear is that that 250 million can go through the system like a dose of salts, and you pay it out to people, you get some guns, and you know what? More guns come in.
Ronnie,
replace
that
those
is
who are
like
there.
throwing your hands in the air.
No, it isn't. It is deciding that you're going to do something. You have to make a hard decision that this society has to come to grips with. It cannot fight. One hand can't clap. You cannot have anything but a concerted national effort to fight
I
crime
think you
and
call the word.
disorder.
It has to be a program that the nation accepts and the nation is going after. In other words, the few, you know that there are nearly enough gang members as police.
Yes, sir.
So if you have 450 gangs and each of them have 100 members, almost that you're a good mathematician.
That sounds like about 40,000.
Sounds like that was called the whole heap.
Yes.
And when they said, listen, boy, Westmoreland belong to us, you know.
But what is Westmoreland saying?
I don't want to come down there. No.
Hello, but what is Westmoreland saying to us? Over the weekend, I wanted to ask you about this. The news was coming out of Westmoreland from people in the area called Russia. Yes, coming out from prominent people there, that the young people in Russia have nothing to do, nowhere to go, no work to occupy them except scamming. Now, when you have a situation like that, yes, if you don't deal with that root cause, yes, you could have locked up all of them. You could have provided whatever incentive you want for to get back guns. Yes, they will remain in that situation. They will live in the shadows of illegality.
Somebody in their bed has just shout to me.
Yes, sir.
Ronnie, what you are doing is justifying criminality?
No. I'm speaking, no, I'm not.
No, because
I'm speaking about its inevitability.
In every area of Jamaica, you have some of that problem.
Of course, and I'm saying...
So therefore, if Westmoreland going to say, listen, we didn't get to school or we didn't accept and go.
Yeah.
We finished school, but we can't get our work.
Yeah.
That is happening right in Kingston.
And because it is happening in Kingston, it means it must be dealt with here too. And in my view, it is both indispensable, urgent, and affordable to deal with it.
No, you have to explain that before you leave.
I will.
How is it affordable to find out who have the gun, where the guns are, and who they're going to kill next?
No.
Whose contract going to be?
That is a symptom. That is a symptom of the pathology. The cause of the pathology is what I say has to be dealt with. And the cause of the pathology can only be dealt with when you understand where the hardware is coming from, but of greater importance, why the hardware is so attractive to the youth we are talking about in Russia or elsewhere, and not so attractive to your children and mine. When we come back from the break, Mr. Charles, this is the early rise time for the government programming so important about agriculture in Jamaica. There's much more. Stay with the Bridge 99. This is the early rise on the Bridge 99 to the diaspora, to the world.
Could I say something for the Jamaican?
Sure.
I think instead of staying where they're grunting and making noise, like we're not hearing, call us.
Yes?
Call me and tell me that, Mr. Charles, you're wrong. Ronnie right. Or Ronnie, you're wrong. Mr. Charles right. Because I think we need to hear how the people feel on this matter.
Okay. I pick up a lot of comment,
well,
as you do.
I'm coming to tell you something.
Yeah.
And the man say I'm listening, you know. I went to Mandeville to bury our friend.
Yes, Fairbairn.
Maxwell. And I saw several people came over and said, I hear you, Mr. Thwaites, man.
Really?
I didn't know that so many Jamaicans listening to us.
Good.
So I said good morning to all who spoke to me.
Yes.
And I am telling Mr. Thwaites that they say hello to you.
Yes, sir.
And say you must stop pressure Pearnel.
Well, here no. I'm not going to. This is not pressure. This is constructive dialogue. Only program of its kind on Jamaican radio, as far as I know. But hear me now. We were talking earlier about the crime situation.
Yeah.
And over this weekend, an interesting advance. Philip Paulwell, Member of Parliament for East Kingston, formerly chairman of the People's National Party, certainly a well-established member of that party,
yeah.
Former Minister of Government. He says, look, we need a united effort to fight crime. He writes an article in the press yesterday where he points out that he, if it were up to him, would have voted for the continuation of the state of emergency.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't, but he says that the People's National Party now allows for individual vote of conscience
yes.
on these matters, so that he's not speaking for the party, but he's expressing his own view as a party member.
Yes.
And he points out the futility, both the danger of crime in his own constituency and elsewhere, and the futility of trying to curb crime without a concerted national response.
He's quoting you?
Well, yes.
So why are you surprised?
No.
That he's listening to you and agree with you?
No, I'm not surprised, but I'm glad.
Oh, okay.
And I hope that his position, not on the state of emergency, I would disagree with him on that, but generally speaking, on the need for a tough crime measures, crime responses consistent with the Constitution, and which involve a joint approach. Man come together and say, this is how we're going to deal with this thing. Try hard. Yes?
Well, let me correct you on something that you won't say.
Yeah.
I don't want you to give the impression that you are opposed to states of emergency.
No, it couldn't be.
No, you just...
But
I'm just saying.
But
there is an addition to that.
Yes.
If
right.
certain things are happening.
And if they are declared and if they are operated within the terms of the Constitution.
Right.
Yes, that is what I'm a constitutionalist.
Yes.
Very conservative
and
in that regard.
You're not one of the bad lawyers. You're not a QC, but
no.
You are.
No, not possible. But anyway, the point is that I see. I'm interested in the position Philip Paulwell takes, and I'm hoping we can interview him one morning, have him as our guest, because one of the things is that this for me is the possible breakthrough, yes, for an acceptance that one side neither has the public support, nor does it have the complete brain power and insight to solve something which is as universal in the society as crime. I would beg and argue that there is a twin to that. And that twin is something is the issue of the reform of education. And
Yes.
the reform of education, I'm asking your view, and the prevention of crime and violence. They are twinned, you know.
Yes.
The two of them
Yes.
connected.
Yes.
So what
Because
if?
the truth is that there is no totality, using that word, as my
Sure,
father
sure.
said. But certainly, if we had more people educated,
Yeah.
and more people education not only in English and maths, but education
Values.
in
Principles.
in preventing certain things
Sure.
in your development process,
Sure.
that we'd be 10 times better off.
Absolutely.
And that is why I think you were attracted to the Prime Minister's program, where children were brought in, particularly men, and trained in a military situation.
Project Hope.
And then from that you could go where you want. And,
Clearly.
You know, Ronnie, I'm a country boy.
Yeah.
And I know where you get dressed.
Yeah.
I'm coming out your district. Some people almost clap
Yeah.
to see
Yes.
one of them boy
Hello.
gone.
You believe, you know, I have little experience in the inner city. When you put a young person in uniform,
Yes.
you know what that does to their behavior.
Great respect, you know.
Of course.
When I went to West Indian Training College and joined the medical cadet. And
Really?
yes, but that's how I went to the train crash, you know. All of us were
Of
waked
course.
up as
Of course.
medical cadet.
Had to go there and help.
So when I was going on a holiday, you think I go home in ordinary clothes, man?
No, son.
I put on my medical cadet.
Yeah.
And I had 2 stripes.
Yeah.
Man, I walk
Of course.
walk through the whole district. Everybody claps, say,
Yeah.
boy.
And girl love you.
And, and every mother said, them want for them boy if you got it too.
Of course.
And so I am in favor of it, that this
Yeah.
injection into.
So when hold on now, Mr. Charles, we're talking present things.
Yes.
When you get somebody of Paul Well's pedigree in the political arena,
Yes.
saying, "Here now, look now, we really need to get together and do this one together." Yes, I must applaud that, even if there are elements of it I may not agree
yeah,
with.
but let me remind you. Let me just straight away remind you.
Yeah,
Peter Phillips,
yeah,
in his last presentation,
yeah. Said the same thing.
said exactly.
Quite so. And why it is that we can't even get the Vale Royal talks going again? Oh
Well,
God!
I don't- I want to go. I want to go a little further on the viral talks.
Yes, man.
Because
Take me.
what Peter Phillips said, what Paul was now saying, look like what the JLP should be saying to join.
Of course.
To get what you're saying
Here.
and get a new group, a new culture, a new
Hallelujah.
approach.
That is exactly it. And if they were to, if the JLP,
And if they join, somebody going to become a minority,
yeah,
and that's the gangsters,
yeah, exactly.
because they are taking advantage on
Right.
both sides. You know,
Right.
this politics
Of
thing,
course,
right?
of course.
As you twitch some man say, boy, uno go,
Yeah.
may have this a man,
Sure.
you come.
Yeah.
Now, when they can look at both of you
No.
going in a direction, a positive direction.
This is a society. We are going to. This is our objective. This is our common target. This is the methodology that, despite disagreements, we're going to sit in a room and lock up until we come to an understanding. And we're coming out, and we are saying this to the public. This could change greatly the whole mood of the country. And, sir, I come back to where I stand. If you did that, yes, for the short-term exigency of crime fighting, no, but with the long-term measure of reforming
Other things.
education and training for the upcoming generation, you would have done constructively all that could be done to remake this society.
Well, I've let the public know that you just read that from what we have. We are both.
Yes, yes, and
You remember when I was Speaker of the House?
yeah,
When things get very hot,
yeah,
we would take a 10 minutes break
yeah.
so that the two leaders
Yes.
can go
Come
behind the Speaker
behind you.
and come up with something.
Yeah,
They did it 1 or 2 times.
Yes.
Sometimes they fail to do it.
Uh-huh.
But that is what that is what Peter Phillips
Yeah.
and Paul Well,
yeah,
is saying what the JLP and should grab now, not in a power top and small, but together.
Yeah.
Because that is the line that that we want the nation to follow.
Yeah. But you see,
but then, Ronnie, somebody go and say, see what when you go join them now, you're going to strengthen Andrew.
Yes. Sure.
And the politics come again.
Yes.
Can't go because
but
you're going to make them stay in power.
Yes, but you see, both you and I.
And they're not like you who say, boy, hear this now. I have a choice. And the choice is not political power for me, but it's power for the nation.
Yeah.
And whoever is there, so long as we are going in a national way, that all of us can live better. It doesn't matter who is on the right side or the left side.
I will be quite happy to have somebody of a different political tendency to mine as being the Prime Minister, provided that we are all together in determining what policy he leads and all of us join in with for the benefit of the nation. And if you have a politics that does not do that, which is what we have now, then whether in hindsight or in foresight, we should change that now. And therefore, I take you again to the newspapers and the thought over the weekend, where the Gleaner, in its editorial yesterday, raises the issue of proportional representation and says that in the grocery list of items that we're going to look at for constitutional change, this should be a major consideration. Now, I am hoping, I want to be careful how I say this so I don't fall into the trap I'm accusing us all of having, but I do not know that the minister in charge of constitutional reform has this principle. But if you accept, as I am now convinced, that there is no area of national life that cannot be improved by finding some compromise, some coordinated approach.
Two acceptable words.
Yes.
Coordinate,
compromise.
To compromise.
Yes. If that is it, then it will be much easier to have if you have some measure of proportional representation. Yes.
Well, Ronnie, look at this. There are some people who are taking advantage of the situation as it is now, Once you split the two of them, PNP and JLP, and when one don't do, you support that one. And when one do, you support that one. Right? The very money behind the political parties is at the end result who is going to support those who are giving the money.
Yes.
Don't you agree?
So who can stand up to those puppeteers? It's only if we say, look, now, brethren, it's not so, we're going to finance our elections in a different way. This is why I support state funding of national elections. You can contribute, but the contributions go into a fund and it's going to be dealt with on equitable basis. Yes, but when you become beholden to some financial element or to some criminal element, there's not much difference, by the way. Yes, then what you are doing is enslaving yourself, and if you win, you are enslaving the people who you represent in ways that will compromise the whole hope, any hope they have of progress.
Ronnie, I'm worried because I have been in the belly of it.
Yeah.
I have heard it all.
Yeah.
I've seen it tried.
Yeah.
And it ends up who is going to lead, whose politics is going to emerge as the best.
Hello, sir.
The political power.
Yeah. But
we haven't reached there to decide.
But let me get theological with you. If that mentality, yes, of my power, my first in the kingdom, is the dominating ethos, yes, that is something called sin, S-I-N.
Yes, but
if politics is not guided by the common good, yes, then it is. If social interaction.
I see you want to make Jamaica ideal. Let us spread our eyes out a little. Look at the great democracy of the United States.
What a shame.
Look at the great democracy of Britain. Two of them who influence us.
Them a tremble.
Where are they now? I'm sure that Prime Minister of England not going to survive.
No.
And the President of the United States,
Go up and
popularity
down,
is
so.
falling.
Yeah.
So, who are we speaking to? Us
Right.
or them? Or all of us?
Yeah, I'm first and foremost so happy, so blessed to be a Jamaican. You see, that while I look to those places for history and for inspiration and for best practices, I also can look at them critically. And I really have this notion that Jamaica is a Garden of Eden and is an exceptional place, and that we, because of arising out of the crucible of our history and all of its differences, even the differences that have separated yourself and myself, that it is possible for us to create a society here which is one which can be a model, first of all, and secondly, more importantly, can provide the opportunity for higher levity of all of our people. And I am ashamed that after many years in public life, yes, we still have not got there. A group of people of my generation met recently. These are men I went to school with, women, yes, and who have been engaged in various aspects of public life, all kinds of different professions, and who have sacrificed in order to do public spirited things, whether it enter politics or run charitable organizations, be philanthropic, engage in academic work towards those ends. And we have to ask ourselves, have we changed anything?
Those people you're talking about,
Yeah.
they are not willing to come forward. They are not willing to put up themselves to lead.
They came forward, and many of them
Came forward how?
in limited ways.
How many of you came?
Very few.
Eh?
Very few into the political limelight, because maybe they saw things that I didn't see. I realized that if you're going to have an influence on public policy, one had to be engaged in active political life, and you had to make a choice given the context of Jamaica. But the question still arises. We can do better for ourselves. And what I
should do better.
I've been part of an administration which tried very hard in most difficult circumstances, did some good, but fell far short of what was expected of us. The present administration is in exactly the same position. Exactly the same position.
All right, can I disturb you right there?
Yeah.
But could I conclude my presentation as saying, I agree with Peter Phillips that the political system needs to be restructured.
Yes, sir. Which is what Paul is saying too.
Right?
Yeah.
I fully agree that what has been here since 1938 has been exhausted.
Yeah, good.
And both sides
Yes, sir.
have had their chance. And we are where we are today. There must be another way.
Yeah.
And we are now looking. I am not a what is it, the Gleaner supporter?
Proportional representation.
I am a political science student, but I am not sure that the Jamaican situation has the belly for that.
No,
maybe the belly is not going to come first unless we put it out there in theory and back it. Still, I am convinced that we have to deal with the politics of it.
So let's
we have to remove the politics of it before we can get that nationalism that all of us have to be
So let us be practical. Let's take you right where you are. We don't have to go to the nth degree now of changing the Constitution. That will come, we hope. But then now, on the issue of crime, on the issue of education, come and do it right now. Come instead of one side make up a plan and the next side leave out of the plan, yes, and maybe have a little word on the fringe.
But why do we take two, Ronnie? Because one can solve all the problem. If 40% of the children are not going back to school, 5 years, 10 years from now, we can have 500 more gangs.
So look at that then. All right, so I'm willing to
let us
segment
take
it.
Education. Because some of the older us need to be re-educated.
So, sir.
Much less the 5-year. Siaga said, if the child reads 7.
And you can't read and write good.
If he can't read and write, him gone.
I'm gone.
He'll have to be re-educated, brought back.
Yeah, I go further than him. If the child reaches 7 and don't know how to behave themselves and respect themselves and respect other people, yes, the society is in trouble. So, sir, stop there, right there. Suppose we were to say, instead of this having one big argument in the Senate last week about whether local government elections should postpone for 6 months or 1 year. Yes? Waste argument in my view. Yes? All right? What we must do, okay, is to say to every councillor, to say to every MP, to say, just take the political apparatus, stop there for the moment, though there's more who can help. Your job right now, forget about election. But your job right now is to make sure we get every single child of school age back in class right now.
Every councillor,
every
MP, every churchman, every MP.
Got you? Okay, but I'm saying no.
Every top man in the district.
We're talking about the political culture to take the lead. Agreed, everybody, all of those. Police, everybody. So your job.
Ronnie, look like you're on the right road, because guess what? Those children are not yet ready to vote.
No.
So we wouldn't be worrying, wouldn't go and vote for.
No.
But if we prepare that, what's the age group we're talking about?
But from age 3 to age 18.
To what?
To age 3. Three.
Yeah.
From little children, baby.
Yeah.
Come right up to age 17, 18.
And the bulk of who not going back to school.
Yes, sir.
Is between.
That is the most frightening thing. So you mean to tell me that we can sit down and discuss anything else in Parliament? Mr. Charles is no longer the Speaker. But nothing else to talk about.
Because you see, there's no Ronnie Thwaites to carry a resolution.
But I'm going to carry a resolution. And you ignore me.
Mr. Charles, hold it down.
Hold it down. What a thing.
Ronnie,
I mean, don't grudge you.
Listen, I want to tease you, and I'm going to try to see if I can be with you on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Because I want you to tell me,
Yeah.
and I'm switching.
Yes.
I want you to tell me the call for Portmore,
Yes, sir.
to become a parish.
Yeah.
And I hear some people saying what Portmore need to become a parish.
Right.
If that was the qualification of becoming a parish, Trelawney, St. Thomas, and Portland still couldn't become a parish?
Yeah. So what is the purpose?
Is it, what do you mean, what is the purpose?
What is the purpose? I mean, if you...
Why not the purpose?
Well, no. I have no objection to becoming a parish, but I still must say...
And it is not a people who migrate to Portmore decision. Yeah. It's a government decision.
No, well, I don't know how government can only take decisions presumably consistent with what people need and people want. But this is... we're happy to discuss it with you whenever.
Yes, you have to come. When I was minister of local government,
I agree, sir.
And after Van Arnold Bertram did a beautiful paper on Portmore, I agree then that not only Montego should become a city as I did, right? But that Portmore, right? The largest dormitory in the Caribbean.
I want to adopt.
But we come to that one.
I want to ask to adopt the Jamaica Labour Party slogan: "Action, not a bag of mouth."
Action.
Show me emotion. But can we go back and finish the point that we're making right now, sir? This week, tomorrow in Parliament, next day press conference. In the budget that poor Nigel is trying to cobble together. I read his article yesterday in the press where he speaks about reform of the public service, trying to make it to indicate the principles, indicate it can't happen all at one time. Speaks about this budget, he gave a hint. Restoring education was the word used, and ensuring national security. So we're expecting a little bit more money in that regard. But when we come back from the break, okay, how could this joint effort in education and crime fighting really work? Let's do that on the Early Rise, the Bridge 99 FM. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, welcome.
Mrs. Thwaites and Charles.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Yes. Talk, man. Wake up, man.
Oh, no, I wake up long time. I wake up long before you. This is New York City.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
yeah?
No, before I go into what I want to say, one day last week, you, Mr. Thwaites, was talking about Jamaica associations in Europe. I don't know if you had gotten information that there are associations in Belgium, there are associations in Holland, there are associations in Germany, there are associations in China.
I did not know that.
Jamaican Association.
Really?
China,
Whoa.
Belgium, Germany, Holland, and God knows else we have enough of those four.
Well, we would love to be in touch with them. If you ever have a contact with any of them, I would love to interview. We would love to interview them, wouldn't we?
Yes, I know we had one in China.
Yes. Okay, that's good news.
Yeah, I do have contacts. I will in time and try to get it to you. But
Yeah, man.
Quickly, we have crime on the spree. We have state of emergency. We bring out the soldiers. That's reactive. Why don't we be proactive and use those very same soldiers who doesn't really fight wars? They're kind of like a civil army. Why don't you use them to cordon off the Jamaican border? Jamaica is an island, and spend the resources that the military has gets and interdict guns. Come on.
Look at that. Why not? Why not? In my view,
simple,
simple and profound. Pearnel, let's have a
reactive thing and be proactive.
Yeah, man. When the government spends money on the Coast Guard boats, yes, I support that, because it is clear.
We have drones now. We have technology. We have drones. We have.
Look at that.
Stuff,
I wasn't thinking. Yes.
Yeah, and I only hope that unfortunately, we have the same station here in New York City. But given that Jamaica like to do everything America does, I only hope that they take note and see what New York will do to stem the prevalence of gun crime here. I hope they take note and learn from what will be done here.
What are you referring to? Any particular measures you want to tell us?
No, there's an unfortunate bridge that exists in Jamaica and New York, in that we're plagued here with gun violence.
Yes.
And so I'm saying, given that Jamaica like to copy what America does.
Yes, I'm understanding that. So we need to know what is being done there and take some note.
We don't know the details yet. We don't know the
when
details yet, but that the president, the governor, the mayor, and all our people, politicians involved at a gathering one day last week, and we'll see what will come of that.
Okay.
And I hope that Jamaica will take note.
But my view is that the two main functions of the Jamaican army ought to be the one that you highlight, which is to protect our borders, which the police can do. The army is the right people to do that. And secondly, they should be training the young people in the practices of discipline and the rudiments of trade, which unfortunately our education and family system do not sufficiently highlight.
Can I bounce something off? Can I bounce something off? Technology
yes, you can.
has reached a stage in our life today that much of what we are fighting over, hand battling, is all time something.
So why we don't use the technology good?
I think that's where he's going. There's technology.
You remember
there's technology to tell you when the gun coming, where it land, and where it going.
Well, it would make it worse if we have it and don't use it. What do you think, caller?
Exactly, but in support of what Mr. Charles says, remember in a presidential election debate between President Obama and Mitt Romney, they were talking about fighting wars, and President Obama said, we don't fight wars with horses and bayonets anymore. We use the high-tech.
Yeah.
So you got to get in the high-tech, artificial intelligence and so forth. Jamaica need to wake up. Now, here we are fighting COVID. I'm sure the government never thought that they would have this on their hand, and yet it's costing so much money and resources to fight. Why why haven't we been and will take on crime and gun runnings the same way we are forced to take on COVID? Lots of money being spent, and the money is found somewhere, and we're fighting it. We're fighting COVID valiant for so many reasons, but crime was a scourge before COVID, and yet we don't apply the same approach to crime as we are to COVID.
Sir, my colleague here, Ronnie Thwaites, has pulled me on his side. Not that I was, well, maybe I say I was a little hesitant. There is one solution right now, and that is education. And I don't mean education to the 3 to 12, education above that too. The nation need to be educated. A new approach has to come, and it comes with technology. Now, the police has not told us, but that's over the last 3-4 weeks, there is something that has changed in Jamaica. And the Prime Minister made a statement saying, I can't tell you, but something is coming and coming straight to your door. And we're going to be re-educated in the technology of finding these things. If that is so, Ronnie, what's your vote?
I support entirely.
Okay.
The youth don't.
I nearly laugh at you.
No.
So say you turn Labour right.
No, look here.
No, somebody's saying, Pearnel, you always bringing up politics. No, but you always bringing up politics. No, I'm just joking.
No, and I'm prepared to accept that. I can be NEP. What I want to see is in my lifetime, and maybe just to have a little bit of input in the improvement of our people. Caller, I'm surprised and troubled that Pearnel and I, for example, we bust our soul case and compromise our economic well-being, of all kind of things you give up. You go through what he went through, yes, and at the end of the day, your politics do not deliver enough to the people. How you feel?
Because you have to change politics to power. With power we want personal power rather than power for all of us. What the young man is talking about.
Yes. So from your position in New York, what you have to say to us, Daddy?
Well, yeah, of course. The good gentleman, Mr. Charles, is right in terms of the macro education, not just ABC 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
The broad education information, and widen people's mind. But let me just say something. That proposition that Mr. Powell made is something that I've always long thought about when I was in Jamaica. But here's my fear. You get them in the army, and they know to use guns, and then you don't have to leave and can't get jobs, and then go pick up guns, and they're no marksmen.
No, you don't. Surely we're brighter than that. You're correct in the threat, but surely we can engage them in other aspects of military engagement than arms training. Surely we can do that. There's no necessity.
Do we have a cadet in Jamaica? Do we have a cadet corps in high schools?
Yes.
Do we have scouts?
Yes. Scouts never did.
We have all those Girl Guides.
Scouts never did with arms. Cadets did, but surely we can minimize, and we are brighter than that. The danger is there, but I think that is a danger we can overcome, and there are higher advantages, greater advantages for putting people under some measure of organized, disciplined, uniform training. That is what I am in favor of.
And Ronnie has been consistent. You have been consistent in that he can't get us together.
So tell me the light note before you go, my caller.
On a light note, you talking about action of the bag of mouth. You say it like our American friend.
Really? Listen, we're very grateful.
When I hear you, when I hear you say it at a chuckle, I say it's like an American on the beach in Jamaica.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, I deal with that, you see. Okay, thanks for the call.
Where are you calling from?
You're welcome.
New York.
New York. Where in New York are you?
Manhattan.
What?
In Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Yes. Old stomping ground of Charles.
Yeah,
yes. Thanks very much. All the best. Call again. This is The Bridge, 99 FM. This is the Early Rise with Pearnel, Charles, and myself. You want to take a short break, or we soon come? How can you be sitting there telling me that you care? Bob Marley, survival. Mr. Charles, that's it. That is the theme that we've been talking about.
Yes, but let me just tell you what is bothering me.
Yeah.
And what I don't want to get up here this morning without saying, how are we going to search for these 40% of the children?
Yeah.
And in that search,
Yeah.
who is keeping them out?
Yeah.
That need to be a part of the findings.
Okay.
Because if we, Ronnie, it doesn't matter what you do,
Yeah.
if you don't fix that.
So let's talk about it now. I don't know what your political organization was, but in Central Kingston, I had 300 workers. Yes.
Yes.
Who were all area leader, group leader, poll clerk, runner, whatever.
Yes.
If I could get 100 of those in the various areas, yes. And so watch now. Your task, yes. Prime Minister going to incentivize you for tell about gun. Yes, okay. But I'm going to incentivize you for find out from me in your district, in your polling division, every single child that's not in school. Yes? Account to me. Have a census like Caesar Augustus did at Jesus' time. Luke chapter 1. You see?
You know what I did when I was at MP?
Yes, sir.
And my sister, if she is listening, say, "Oh, as I bring that up."
Uh-huh.
Ronnie, there was no basic school
Yeah.
in my community
Really?
when I was a child.
Yeah.
And therefore, I didn't get to go to school until I was 7 years old.
Yes, sir.
And my mother was responsible for my pre-elementary school education.
Yes.
And the responsibility then was to be able to count to 100
Yeah.
and to be able to say ABC from A to Z. That was it. And you can 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? When I was MP in Clarendon, I made one rule from my money that I get.
Yeah.
No child should be there over 3 who was not in a basic school.
Absolutely positive.
And I said,
Progressive.
I will use my salary
Yeah.
to pay for that child if the money run out.
Well, no, this is
and
it.
the reason for that, Ronnie,
Yeah.
I have a grandson, Minister Charles has a little son.
Yeah.
He is probably 6 years old now. And him can spell a word that I couldn't spell when I was 12.
Well, look at that. So this is so true. Now, that is progressive. Now, suppose we said that we were going to use our political apparatus for that purpose.
And find the children.
And to bring them to school and with a parent and say, no, why are you not coming? What you need? How we can do it? No giveaway, but to make sure that there were the resources available for that child to be in school.
And we have a fund that it don't necessarily go build no road,
No.
This money you're going to get out of this budget.
And you're going to use it for human
We're going to use it to help to get back all the children to school.
Suppose Prime Minister called in all the leaders of the churches and said, you know what? I'm asking each of you to make sure that the basics that all of you have an influence in a basic school, or if in fact you don't have a basic school attached to your church and there's a need for one, that you set up one. But make sure that they're involved because they're giving ethics, gospel principles, human uplifting curriculum, not just count to 100 and ABC. Because your mother could do that, but your mother was also giving you, yes, a strong moral underpinning.
That was stronger than ABC.
Well, of course, and it is to your credit and her everlasting credit. Now, if we did that, these are things that are possible within existing resources. No big money I vote for that, Constituency Development Fund is big enough to do them thing.
May I go back to the church?
Yes, sir.
If pastor said to all the members, a lot of picnic in the district who not going to school.
Yes.
I want you to tell me Saturday or Sunday next week how many of them not going to school.
Yes, sir.
I want to go out there and hold
Yes,
the
sir.
hand of them
Yes, sir.
to take them to
And
the
I
teachers.
would love to as a
And I will join them.
Yes, sir. And I would love to go as a Catholic minister and join hands with the Seventh-day Adventist elder and do it, and we would suddenly find out. But wait, as the same God we serve.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine it's not a Sunday
so-
God and a Saturday God?
No. And I will come on to Sabbath, and you will come on Sunday, and we will find that common cause. Common cause about what? The upliftment of the human person. That 40% it is now wasting. Yes, and it's more than that. I have to tell Minister, I'm sorry. No wasting. We would find the common cause within our existing resources, within our time, to make a better Jamaica. My God, what a cause!
You said something earlier.
Yeah.
I had 100 PDs, and each PD have at least 3 workers.
Yes, sir. 300.
No, that's 300. No, spread it across the country.
Yes, sir.
If the Prime Minister or the ministers or me and you say, listen, let's get our PD workers to look in our constituency.
Right.
How many children sit on Bankside not going to school this week because him either hungry, him clothes ever run out,
and there's a place where
or him shoes ever ready, or why me not go back at that school there, right? Look what it would do.
Of course it would.
It's thousands of pre-teachers would have going, taking the children to the teachers.
Yes, every branch.
And save 15 years from now, there's nobody available to join a gang.
Well, quite so, sir. No,
you have technology.
Now look at that.
You have more engineers, more teachers, more lawyers.
Yes, and instead of
more mason and carpenters.
What could we do? There are all sorts of resources that we could make. If you put 2 policemen with that in a community to move around with those people, then they will gain more intelligence, more information, about that community, and they will understand its underbelly than any SWAT force, with mortars can possibly do in Tivoli or elsewhere.
May I say one more thing that everybody say, well, Charles talks so much about himself. There were no firewomen when I was minister, you know.
No.
There were no men on Air Jamaica, you know.
Yes, sir.
There were no men on telephone, you know.
Yes.
So I said, hold on, what is happening here? When you go to a fire, don't you need a woman to take care of little old people?
How do you mean? The social element of fire.
So women come on,
sure.
Women fire. Right? You understand the point I'm making?
I do.
So right now, if you said that the politician could get the police, some nice police women out there, just walk to the district with them. Miss Birdie, your child gone to school.
Who you know?
They don't have enough to go today, you know, man.
Come now.
Come, make them come. Because what? The PD worker going to come back to you. Some of the little funds going to go to make sure that boy having little shoes.
Sure.
Ronnie, you did the shoes, me ain't none.
Yes.
But father say, don't worry yourself.
Yes.
When foot bust, it can well back.
Yes.
When shoes bust, it gone.
Well, look now, and if everybody can agree to that common cause, and if we found that we could each make a contribution to it, it would blunt and blur so many of the differences which we have artificially created. Yes? What the hell is anybody fighting election that is due in 2025, 26? What the hell are we fighting election for now?
But let's go back to where we are going. 15 years from now, there'll be nobody available for gang.
Well,
because they went back to school, they got an education,
at least it will be better,
and they're now able to either go someplace and get a job, or stay right here and work.
Don't tell me that
totally
is an
different.
impossible ideal, and therefore sit down where you are sitting down now, because that is no good. Look at what is the mayhem that it is wreaking upon us. Now look at what we've done today. We've begin to think out in colloquial terms, in very simplistic terms, sure, but let us not have a problem for every solution. These things can work, and what we have done is to take the news of the day and to show how they can be sacralized, I use the word purposely, in order to make some kind of common cause for our people. That's
I hear my friend in London saying, and I am ready to find some money for that job.
Of course.
The man in Canada.
Of course.
Diaspora saying, okay,
I'm prepared to come home if that is the kind of thing that they're going to do.
That we contribute to that project.
So there we
Get
are.
the children back to school.
That's what we do on the Early Rise on the Bridge 99 FM. Thank you, Mr.
Bridge.
Charles. There's more to come, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. Time now for Richie B's program. Till then, take care.